Hi everyone, welcome to Jesus, a Gospel of Love, the mystical Christ and the mystical teachings of Christ. We are going deep within and clearing away the cobwebs of judgments, of grievances, of preconceptions, all concepts, emptying the mind of concepts to come to the pristine, pure love and light of Christ and God. Blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God. That's our aim, that's our goal. Allowing Jesus, allowing the Holy Spirit to purify our heart and to see the world differently. See the world with the vision of Christ. See the world in love and light, which is really the truth of things. We want the truth. So we're continuing on with A Course in Miracles, and we're up to lesson number 9. You might remember our lesson from yesterday, as my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. And so those are the contents of consciousness, just past thoughts, past belief and past thoughts. And those are images, those are idols. Lesson 9. I see nothing as it is now. This idea obviously follows from the two preceding ones, but while you may be able to accept it intellectually, it is unlikely that it will mean anything to you as yet. However, understanding is not necessary at this point. In fact, the recognition that you do not understand is a prerequisite for undoing your false ideas. These exercises are concerned with practice, not with understanding. You do not need to practice what you already understand. It would indeed be circular to aim at understanding and assume that you have it already. It is difficult for the untrained mind to believe that what it seems to picture is not there. This idea can be quite disturbing and may meet with active resistance in any numbers of forms. Yet that does not preclude applying it. No more than that is required for these or any other exercises. Each small step will clear a little of the darkness away, and understanding will finally come to lighten every corner of the mind that has been cleared of the debris that darkens it. These exercises, for which 3 or 4 practice periods are sufficient, involve looking about you and applying the idea for the day to whatever you see, remembering the need for its indiscriminate application and the essential rule of excluding nothing. For example, I do not see this typewriter as it is now. I do not see this telephone as it is now. I do not see this arm as it is now. Begin with the things that are nearest you and then extend the range outward. I do not see that coat rack as it is now. I do not see that door as it is now. I do not see that face as it is now. It is emphasized again that while complete inclusion should not be attempted, specific exclusion must be avoided. Be sure you are honest with yourself in making this distinction. You may be tempted to obscure it. I see nothing as it is now. And to assist us with coming to the practical application of this idea, we go to the Manual for Teachers, number 8. How can perception of order of difficulties be avoided? The belief in order of difficulties is the basis for the world's perception. It rests on differences, on uneven background and shifting foreground, on unequal heights and diverse sizes, on varying degrees of darkness and light, and thousands of contrasts in which each thing seen competes with every other thing in order to be recognized. A larger object overshadows a smaller one. A brighter thing draws the attention from another with less intensity of appeal. and a more threatening idea, or one conceived of it as more desirable by the world's standards, completely upsets the mental balance. What the body's eyes behold is only conflict. Look not to them for peace and understanding. Illusions are always illusions of differences. How could it be otherwise? By definition, an illusion is an attempt to make something real that is regarded as of major importance, but is recognized as being untrue. The mind therefore seeks to make it true out of its intensity of desire to have it for itself. Illusions are travesties of creation, attempts to bring truth to lies. Finding truth unacceptable, the mind revolts against truth and gives itself an illusion of victory. Finding health a burden, it retreats into feverish dreams. And in these dreams, the mind is separate, different from other minds, with different interests of its own, and able to gratify its needs at the expense of others. Where do all these differences come from? Certainly they seem to be in the world outside. Yet it is surely the mind that judges what the eyes behold. It is the mind that interprets the eye's messages and gives them meaning. And this meaning does not exist in the world outside at all. What is seen as reality is simply what the mind prefers. Its hierarchy of values is projected outward, and it sends the body's eyes to find it. The body's eyes will never see except through differences, yet it is not the messages they bring on which perception rests. Only the mind evaluates their messages, and so only the mind is responsible for seeing. It alone decides whether what is seen is real or illusory, desirable or undesirable, pleasureful or painful. It is in the sorting out and categorizing activities of the mind that errors in perception enter. And it is here correction must be made. The mind classifies what the body's eyes bring to it according to its preconceived values, judging where each sense datum fits best. What basis could be faultier than this? Unrecognized by itself, it has itself asked to be given what will fit into these categories. And having done so, it concludes that the categories must be true. On this, the judgment of all differences rests, because it is on this that judgments of the world depend. Can this confused and senseless reasoning be depended on for anything? There can be no order of difficulty in healing merely because all sickness is illusion. Is it harder to dispel the belief of the insane in a larger hallucination as opposed to a smaller one? Will he agree more quickly to the unreality of a louder voice he hears than to that of a softer one? Will he dismiss more easily a whispered demand to kill than a shout? And do the number of pitchforks the devils he sees carrying affect their credibility in his perception? His mind has categorized them all as real, and so they are all real to him. When he realizes they are all illusions, they will disappear. And so it is with healing. The properties of illusions which seem to make them different are really irrelevant, for their properties are as illusory as they are. The body's eyes will continue to see differences, but the mind that has let itself be healed will no longer acknowledge them. There will be those who seem to be sicker than others, and the body's eyes will report their changed appearances as before. But the healed mind will put them all in one category. They are unreal. This is the gift of its teacher, capital T teacher. The understanding that only two categories are meaningful in sorting out the messages the mind receives from what appears to be the outside world. And of these two, but one is real. Just as reality is wholly real, apart from size, shape, and time and place, where differences cannot exist within it, so too are illusions without distinctions. The one answer to sickness of any kind is healing. The one answer to all illusions is truth. So there we have it. When Jesus says, "Judge not, lest ye be judged," he's talking to the mind, and he's saying, don't have any boxes, don't have any categories, don't have any way of competing or contrasting or conflicting or comparing that which is the same. We remember from our lesson number 7, I see only the past. All of the images are the past. And number 8, my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. And number 9 today, I see nothing as it is now. These things go together. It's very reasonable, it's very logical, it's divine logic, it's inspired logic from the Holy Spirit and Jesus. Basically, that it's not people that judge, but it's the mind that judges the persons, places, things, images, concepts in some hierarchy of illusions, thus denying that they are all illusory. They are all equally illusory. Miracle simply looks on the false as false. It makes no attempt to break apart the false into different images, names, categories, boxes. No. It just simply sees the false as false. And this opens the way for the return of creation, the return of God, the memory of God. This is how it all works. So the question often arises, but how practical? Sentimentally that sounds good, but how practical is this? And it's like, well, that's why we have the Holy Spirit as guide, offering us guidance and instructions to unwind our mind from this belief in hierarchies of needs, hierarchies of illusions. This orders of difficulties issue that the sleeping mind has is meant to be healed, is already healed in the Holy Spirit. That's why we follow the guidance of the Holy Spirit. What to say, what to do, where to go, how to interact with what seems to be an external world. And as we do the mind training with our mind, watch our thoughts, watch our beliefs, watch our emotions, use the tools that have been provided. There are many. There are absolutely many. So, what a joy to be free of orders of difficulties. What is the opposite of order of difficulties? Is a life of ease, a life of gentleness, a life of flow, a life of allowance, an intuitive life. It's a chance to be 100% intuitive, and then live from that intuition. Literally, let that intuition guide you in all things, in all ways. That is the beauty. That is the sparkling majesty of this idea. So as we practice the lesson of the day, I see nothing as it is now. We also pray in our heart to be shown the vision of Christ, to have that true vision that Jesus pointed to in the Bible, let thine eye be single. That's what we want. We don't want split vision, distorted vision, double vision, a world of multiplicity. That's just complexity. We want to truly see with our inner eye, guided by the Holy Spirit, to behold the vision of Christ. And the song of love and gratitude that's in our heart. So we go our way today, practicing our lesson. I see nothing as it is now. God bless you. Have a beautiful day. Shine your love. Shine your light.